So when somebody gets in, let's just say you recruit somebody, okay? So somebody comes in, what's a part of your process? Like, what's the next step for that person that comes in your business?
I like to make sure that they're the right person. So even though they got in, doesn't mean I really want
So
them.
how do we know they're the right person? How do you determine that?
I started doing different tests and seeing how they react. When I ask a bunch of questions, like, what do they really want? And I try to find out if they even know what kind of goals they want, and if they're willing to, pay a price to get those goals. And then I have direct conversations of what they have to do. Like for instance, in my business, they have to get licensed. There's things like, are you willing to make 100% commitment to do that? And then I look at their character in terms of work ethic, because everyone can talk a good game. So then I say, well, let's go look at some appointments. Let's see how many appointments you could do. And if that's the case, that and I'll do that to everybody. And some people will do it, some people won't do it. But eventually, the right ones will rise to the top. I believe most, at least my business anyway, it has very little to do with skill. I'm in Atlantic City right now working on the deal, but it has everything to do with kind of like math. I believe we're in a math business, so it's just a matter of if you have the right math, it'll add up. But if you're doing very little numbers, the math will never add up. I don't care how many years you work at it, the math will never add up unless you have the right math, which is a lot in a short period of time, which is genius. I don't know if there's such thing as success quickly, success in a long time, but I know success requires that you do it quickly. You get the job done quickly in order to go to the next level.
So when you say math, I mean, I think that's brilliant that you said that, because of course you're in Atlantic City and everything is math in Atlantic City because people gamble. It's gambling, right. Whatever city. So explain to us why math is in probability and ratios are so important to what we're trying to accomplish if we're trying to build a company.
Yeah, what it is, a lot of times, I'm sure there's some companies that need quality, but I believe most companies, at least when you're new in business, you have to figure out what you're good at and you have to get good at it. And I think the only way to get good at it is going through a certain amount of numbers where you actually start picking up what I call a miles per gallon. Before you know it, you start figuring out what you have to do to get success. And then you just keep getting a little better and then you get more success. Or if you spend time with the right people, you'll get a little more success. But the reality is everybody has to go through a math. So, when I was in personal sales, I knew if I sat with 3 insurance clients, so to speak, I would do business with 1, maybe 2. And so I never really focused on how the appointment would go. I focused on just getting on the damn appointment. And so meanwhile, I had people that was 10 times sharper than me, and they dressed better, they had better suits and all that. They focused on getting the right appointment. I focused on even booking appointments. I used to have guys that were really skilled at overcoming objections, and they would spend 20 minutes overcoming an objection, on an appointment. And I would book 5 already, because someone would say no, and I'd be like, thank you, I'll call you back next month. They'll go, no, don't call me back. I'll call you back anyway. And I hang up, and so I got a ratio going towards me. And even in a bigger scale where you got people that are making money and people that are getting some success, it's just a matter of time. See, if you have 50 people that's making, a couple thousand a month, eventually you'll get some people out of that want to make a couple thousand a day. And I think you shouldn't sleep till you're making at least $1,000 a day. One of my quotes is, you shouldn't sleep past 6 a.m. if you don't make 6 figures. And that's the minimum wage.
Love that. Love that.
Unless your family deserve less, then you don't. And I'm big on keeping people uncomfortable. I don't even want to get into that today. I'm not great.
No, I want to get into that. I want to get into that, man. All right. So how do we keep people uncomfortable, man? Tell us, Chris. How do we keep people uncomfortable?
Well, we got to figure out what it is you're working towards. Who do you live for, and who would you like to make sure that they're okay? And then give me a little synopsis of what kind of lifestyle you want them to live. And so would you rather them be uncomfortable, or would you rather be uncomfortable? So my job is to keep you uncomfortable so you get them comfortable. There shouldn't be a day that you sleep until, well, do you need rest? You absolutely need rest. But if you didn't put in a full day, you can't deserve rest. You have to put in a full day to deserve rest. There's so many families out there that have talented husbands. I'm going to use husbands as an example. There's so many families out there that their husbands are super talented, and they got their wives, working at a job or something like that, just because they won't get uncomfortable and do what they need to do. And it's not that hard. I mean, make your family comfortable is not to get rich. I believe is hard. To get your family comfortable, it's mandatory. That's not negotiable. We got to get this thing done right away. And if we got to work, like I worked almost 10 years, 15 hours a day. Did I ever take off? I took off, but I didn't take off to watch TV. I took off to maybe go on a vacation. I took off to go, somewhere that was important. Okay. And so we challenge people like that, and
are you one of those people that the early days, like, did you because for me, I came into this thing because I wanted to win quickly. Like I didn't want this thing to take forever. And so how long, kind of give me a few of your numbers of like, how long did it take you to start making 100,000, 200,000, like, because I know you said you didn't get off to a total fast start, but like what sort of time frame?
I would say once I got it going, it took me about 4 years.
Okay.
To really, start making six figures and all that,
Okay.
and then after that is when it really exploded.
Okay.
So when I got a taste of the money, and I went,
Mhm.
holy smoke, I can actually make six figures. I kind of like this. What if I can make 150,000?
Right.
And what if I can make 200,000? And I really started focusing on the infrastructure of my business, where I started focusing on getting leaders to grow, because I was really big on because I got good dealing with clients. I thought that was going to be my game for the rest of my life, and that's where most people get caught. I became a financial professional, and I could close pretty much anyone, do a big investment, and I almost got caught in that. I had a few people that talked me out of it. A few people that actually sat down with me and says, eventually you're going to want to stop one day. And they shook it into me. I mean, when I say they talked to me, it took them probably 9 months to convince me to start giving, my time, some of my time, to actually grow in my company. And thank God I did that. Otherwise today I'd still be, doing an insurance or doing an investment.
So basically, what you're saying is a lot of people get stuck in this trap where they just want to be the financial guy or gal, versus actually becoming a builder of people and a builder of other leaders, right? Because I always talk about, the process. You got to have a process. You got to duplicate that process. And then, of course, you got to sell a vision and paint a picture for people to follow. How important is having a process and duplicating that process?
It absolutely is. Like, you have to do it first. I think a lot of times, like, people see me today, they go, oh my God, you're just lucky, you just chill out, you just do whatever. And they don't even have a clue what I used to do, when I used to wake up, when I used to go to bed, how hungry I was, what challenges went on in my life. They don't have a clue. And the fact is, everyone that's successful that started from the bottom, so to speak, went through every single one of those. Okay. But the day you start thinking that, because you got food in your mouth, that you're okay, that's when you have that challenge. You got to have way more than just food in your mouth. And most men are living a life where they just have food in their mouth. They barely, got anything accumulated. They don't have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars for incidents that might come up, challenges that might come up. And, and so we got to get really uncomfortable with that stuff. The fact is, you and I need to design a business that one day would allow us to become free. You and I need to design a business that one day will allow us to become free. And that's what it's all about. And if you're not working on designing something, not to stop working, winners never stop working. Like I take off time and then I just want to get right back into, attack something else, like learning how to invest in hotels now. I don't know why I'm learning how to do it. It's just a game for me. Because I've got a company that's really rocking in the financial business. Everything else is just knowledge for me. Everything else is just, like I was telling one of my buddy earlier, he's going to write a book, it's just another day to live. It's just an extra day to your life. He almost got killed a couple of times, and so every day now he has just extra. So, You get upset about it, but every day is what extra, okay? And so we're just enjoying life, man.
Thank you for watching our short clips on Alonzo Academy. If you'd like to watch the next short clip, click here. If you'd like to watch the entire podcast, click here.